Hello again. So there was some tech issues. I got kicked out of the stream early on. Um, where is it? Not say that I'm live. Should say that I'm live now. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I was kicked off. But I'm here again, and thank you for sticking with me. So, in summary, I was talking about COP16, um, and there was a global nature fund that got um, blocked by global north countries. And I ended by saying that there was uh, a creation of a subsidiary for indigenous peoples and local communities. Um, yeah, so I'll start where I left off. So so I left off with there was a indigenous people, a body specifically for indigenous people. I support that. Um, let's see, what else did I highlight in this article? Oh, I think I talked about most of the rest. If you're listening on YouTube, I apologize. There was a glitch. Let's see. Oh, the next article. Oh, I don't have the right screen on. So the next article is the meat and oil and pesticide industry lobbyists told out in record numbers at COP16. This is in the Guardian, and see, I don't see who it. Oh, Phoebe Weston. And there's a quote: "Without significant progress on a number of." Oh, the conference ended in disarray, according to this article, without significant progress on a number of key issues, including nature funding, monitoring biodiversity loss, and work on reducing environmentally harmful business subsidies. Let's see. It says the industry groups working in pharmaceuticals, oil and gas, agrochemicals, food and beverage processing, and tech all had more people registered to attend, according to analysis by DSMOG. Compared to previous years. Sectors with the greatest increases included food and beverage and tech. And there was an increase in representatives who were pushing back on progress related to digital sequencing information, which is a voluntary agreement to make companies show profit from commercial discoveries derived from nature's genetics. Um, I think that's important to show information that is discovered, especially with indigenous people. I did not read that specific agreement, but if it, I hope it included. It, I hope that I think it was from a previous year. That's maybe why I didn't read it. But I hope that there was inclusion of indigenous people. But it's sad to see that it's being opposed. Let's see. And Crop Life International sent 17 representatives. 10 representatives were from Nestle. I know Nestle has a lot of environmental issues. And then there was 9 from ExxonMobil. This is more than some country delegations, including Belize, which had sent 7 delegates, Jamaica with 6, and Bahamas with 2. So industry it has more delegations than individual countries. Let's see. Canada had 3 delegations as part of its Crop Life. Crop Life had 3 delegations, but they were from Canada's delegations. Or 3 of Canada's delegations were from Crop Life. So that indicates a high degree of industrial influence in Canadian decision making. I don't believe that countries should have delegates from industrial groups. I know that those lobbyists, uh, um, which I think also separate, but having an industry as part of the group is troubling. And then the article says Rob Cook, a member of the British Ecological Society, said, "On the one hand, I optimistically see it as a sign that nature is taken seriously in terms of business and finance. We need these actors to be involved in discussions if we are to mainstream biodiversity across all sectors, and we need more money for biodiversity, and this is in regards to more industry um, presence." He later went on to say, "On the other hand, the pessimist in me worries that industry representatives may use their influence to water down regulations or deny the necessary action to halt biodiversity loss. Could their presence have contributed to the stalling and breakdown of implementation negotiations?" It's hard to tell, as these conversations likely happen behind closed doors. And then, I should switch. On to the Irish Times next, and we'll go to so I'm reading in the Irish Times, which says UN Biodiversity Summit comes to an abrupt end as deal on Global Nature Fund falls through. And who is this by? Kevin O'Sullivan. And yeah, it talks about how the UN conference ended abruptly. Only 12 governments, this is from the article, voluntarily contribute to a fund amounting to 396 million. And this is full from the 700 billion needed to effectively implement the goals of the 2022 Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework Agreement, which aims to halt the rapid decline of nature by 2030 and effectively restore biodiversity. That's from the article. And then there was and this includes an agreement on separate new fund for countries to protect nature to be paid into by companies that sell products like drugs and cosmetics based on the genetic data from the natural world, known as digital sequence information. Oh, that's what has been approved. Sorry. I mentioned that. And I talked about the global north-south divide. And this article also says that Russia is trying to remove language acknowledging the global climate crisis. And let's see. So I'll go to the next article, which is in Forbes. And I'll go to and then I'm just going to go to Forbes next. I think there was like a graphic in that article. And this is by David Colling. And I'm just going to look for the graphic. Oh, yes. So this article says that only 3 countries met the fair share of biodiversity finances in 2022. And that does not include Canada. And that is very disappointing to see that it not include Canada. And Canada only has 31% of what is fair share. So the 3 countries are Norway, Sweden, and Germany. And then France has 97%. So it's very close. And this conference only happens once every 2 years. And then, did I highlight anything else? And then there was like 196 countries, but only 3 countries contributed its fair share. Then I will go to the next article, which is coming up. I just have to load it. Here it is. The next article is called Canada's Global Nature Pledges Stymied by Politicking at Home. Gilbold. By Ainsley Kron Snuck. Um, I'll look up the pronunciation of Ainsley's last name. And the article says political differences between federal parties as well as different levels of government are key hurdle blocking Canada's pledges to conserve nature. Federal Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault told the Knoll.
Should I make it for your pineapple and cheese?
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Where was I? Yeah, let's see. There was also the committing to conserve 30% of land and water by 2030. Oh, yeah, the article talks about biodiversity not being discussed at provincial levels. And I will mention that, like, Ontario is actually making things worse with its wetlands legislation. Um, and there's some quotes. None of the targets outlined in the pre-Montreal Agreement signed in 2010 were fully met, including phasing out subsidies harmful to biodiversity, having the rate of loss of all natural habitats, and covering 17% of land and 10% of coastal marine areas, all by 2020. And then Canada managed to meet 2020 target of protecting 10% of the marine environment, but failed to conserve 17% of land. The article says, I think it's 13%. And then it talks about like indigenous people being important for conserving nature. There was a report on Canada's progress on global conservation commitments, which signaled out Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Ontario for making minimal progress on nature protections. And then over 2 years, Alberta added approximately 0.002% of Alberta's land to protected areas list. There was challenges. Provinces are responsible for environmental protection. Well, not they're responsible for land use decisions, many land use decisions which impact the environment and mineral explorations. I believe that the federal government isn't intervening in enough of the decisions that it does have authority over, such as endangered species at the federal level. And they backed away from requiring an environmental assessment of 413. There was a push to require Ontario to have an environmental assessment. Only 35 countries submitted plans to the conference as of October 22nd. Canada was among them, so that's good. But like there was over 100 countries. Oh, and Stephen Gilbo did not attend the conference. I don't know. I didn't read what the decision, why that was, but it was at the last minute. And yeah, and then Wetlands International made a statement. Um, they said that COP16 did not send a message to the world that all governments are acting with the urgency and the determination needed to halt and reverse biodiversity loss. There is still a pressing need for more attention and action from countries on tackling the underlying drivers of wetland loss and degradation, including the need to eliminate subsidies that are harmful to nature and increase dedicated funding for wetland conservation and restoration. They had a press conference, a news release about that. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. And I will hopefully talk about the climate change conference next week. If not, there might be a environmental report. I might talk about plastics in the grocery store as well. Anyways, thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your day.